Greetings, I'm Bill Rudd,
Eric Avey.
and this is Bill's Bluegrass Breakdown. Eric is the lead singer and guitar player for the band Mountain Ride, and we're here at my favorite taco shop, a place to eat in Frostburg, Maryland, and we're here talking about bluegrass and the future of bluegrass. First, though, let's talk about what's your favorite thing about bluegrass?
Well, my favorite thing about bluegrass has got to be the way that the music is so diverse with age groups, from young to old, and it's like a universal language whenever you get with other pickers and everyone knows the same songs, and you can like meet a complete stranger at a jam and just hit it off, and just the connection and how organic the music is too. Bluegrass can be played anywhere acoustically, in a garage, in a field, in a house, on stage, in a parking lot. So yeah, having that ability to share songs with people you've never played with before has got to be probably my most favorite thing. But then again too, it's just the history of bluegrass and where it's come from and how it's grown, but also how it stays, and how it's evolving to every year it seems like something new is coming out. Someone's doing something else new and exciting and fresh.
Exactly. Yep. So throughout history, what is your favorite bluegrass band?
Well, the first band that I really was exposed to early on was probably my very first bluegrass CD was Blue Highway.
Oh wow.
It may be self-titled.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure. I got it through a trade. I forget why. Years ago. This is probably mid-90s.
Was it a CD or cassette?
It was a CD, so it was like fresh out of like BMI or one of those.
Like music catalogs?
Yeah, catalogs. Yeah, where you pay like
order services.
10 cents for like 12 albums or something. So anyways, I got this album, Blue Highway, and fell in love with those guys even before I heard Old in the Way. And then I guess Old in the Way was probably my next, and probably is my favorite period of bluegrass, but whenever I learned of it was definitely during the 90s through the Dead and Jerry and stuff like that. But so that's probably, that was where I started, was Blue Highway. It was my very first.
Yeah. What instrument were you playing at the time?
I was noodling on guitar, but I was really a drummer at the time.
Yeah.
A drummer in a rock jam band, blues. I started playing blues and rock and jam music and stuff like that. But I owned an acoustic guitar, so I noodled around a little bit. But I really wasn't trying to replicate bluegrass yet at that point.
Right.
I was just kind of learning guitar. But like I said, I got that CD through a trade, and it was just it's impacted me, and it's been there ever since. I remember every single song and every lyric from it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
You ever cover any of those songs?
No, actually, they're so good. Blue Highway is just so good. Like, it's so hard to. Their harmonies, and just their instrumentation is just it's damn near perfect.
Rob Ickes.
I guess Rob Ickes was the dobro player at that point. Yeah.
Oh,
he's the founder.
Blue Highway, from their inception up until Rob Ickes left the band, I guess 2-3 years ago at this point, had the exact same lineup, which is an impressive feat for as long as that was.
And surprisingly, I never really followed them much after that. I got that CD. Like, that's the only album I have of them. And then someone gave me a Third Time Out tape, a cassette.
Yeah.
Like a recorded cassette. And I remember some pretty, influential bluegrass tunes coming off that, especially their vocals.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like Third Time Out and Blue Highway, their vocals capture you right away. So.
All right, so you're the lead singer and guitarist for Mountain Ride. So if you don't mind, tell me how Mountain Ride came to be.
Okay, Mountain Ride came to be on Christmas Day. I don't know the year. Kate's been playing upright bass for about 6 years now or so. But I handed her an upright bass one year on Christmas Day and said, "Here, do this." Then showed her a couple things so I could play and have someone playing with. We were home for Christmas. Then we started getting the idea we wanted to book some bluegrass shows and start playing some traditional bluegrass. And the beauty of playing traditional bluegrass is so many people know the songs. So I just started booking some shows without a band. And I would just find a banjo player or a mandolin player to just come and play these songs because they're traditional. So we did this for about a year or two, and to the point where we needed to I'm a songwriter, and I wanted to start bringing my own music, but that's kind of hard to bring on stage live with somebody that's never heard a song before. So we wanted to start incorporating um, original music into it. So it went on for about a year or two. We had some amazing pickers like Pappy was one of the writers. Anthony Hannigan, Ernie Bradley, Hermanilla was one. He was like actually the first mandolin player to play with us. Steve Leonard, banjo. All of the friends that we're friends with now were kind of a part of Mountain Ride, getting us started.
That's amazing.
And it was just for fun. We had no future goals and trying to be anything more than that. But like I said, once we started gaining a little bit of popularity and doing some original music, we needed to settle with a lineup. So slowly we developed a lineup that stayed, and kind of a rhythm. We got into a rhythm of bringing original music, and then to the point now where that's our main focus is we develop our own sound based around 90% of my material. I mean, there are other songwriters in the band, which is great, incredible songwriters, and we do a few of their songs right now.
That's great. Now, on One Place to Go, how many of those are original songs on the album?
They're all original.
Are they all original?
They're all original songs. Corey wrote one of the tunes on there, and I think Kate contributed one of her tunes there. So.
And then you wrote the rest.
I wrote the rest. Yes, it's all of the albums that we've released so far. Our first one was self-titled Mountain Ride, and the second one was Time to Roll. And this one's One Place to Go, all original music. So yeah.
So while we're on the topic of One Place to Go, which came out this past October,
Yeah, October 27th. Yeah.
Yep. So what was it like recording that? I'm sure you've been a musician for a long time now.
Yeah.
So you've got a lot of studio experience.
Right.
So
This has been One Place to Go was absolutely a dream. This was the first time we had a producer. We had Brett Alexander. So it was nice to have someone in the studio for the first time, kind of calling his shots and taking that burden off the band. So if you needed to run another break again or you needed to redo something, it wasn't one of us asking one of the band members, hey, do you mind? That wasn't, So we had someone professionally in there calling shots, which made a huge difference with this album. Well, we were working with pros too. We were in our first.
Where were you?
We were at 8 Days a Week Studio in Northumberland, PA. With Paul Smith and Brett Alexander. Brett Alexander was the producer. Paul Smith's the engineer and owner of this. And what's cool is they're not really known for bluegrass either. So it was kind of new for them to have a bluegrass band in there. I mean, they record acoustic instruments, but and they recorded and produced multi-platinum artists like Breaking Benjamin and some pretty like well-known national acts.
Yeah.
But this was definitely different for them, different for us. So the end product that we got from it is
it sounds excellent. Yeah, it really does.
Thank
and
you.
I've listened to the Mountain Ride records over the years, and one of the critiques I would have always had is the quality would you'd have some songs that sound amazing, quality wise,
right,
and then other songs might sound not so good. Right. So this one, it holds together. From start to finish.
Consistency with this one. And the first thing I said to him when I went to the studio is I was like, guys, I want every single song to sound like it was recorded in the same studio, and same volume, just across the board. And these guys are so pro that they captured it.
How long was the recording process? Speaking of that, because
we started that in March, April, May, about 4 months, maybe 6 sessions, something like that. Not too grueling. And then the mix down process probably took a month or two. The mixing and mastering process. And those guys nailed it. I mean, for the most part, something I would change if we could go back and change it. Kate was playing her electric bass on that album, and during the summer in June, she got her new acoustic upright from Upton Bass in Connecticut, which Travis Book from the Dusters also plays. And that's how she got into that bass, was because he wrote me one day on Facebook because I was looking for an upright. He was like, "Have you ever considered Upton Bass?" And so no. So we started doing our research on it, and then we started questioning Travis, and he was so helpful. Him and Dylan from Cabinet.
Oh wow! Does he play one too?
No, he doesn't play an Upton, but as far as his setup goes, and Alan Bartram, Delfest last year,
really?
we had probably like a 2-hour conversation with him in the middle of the night getting pizza, at, in the pizza line. Maybe not 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half, an hour. It was a long conversation, and he was so giving with his knowledge and info for upright basses. So long story short, I wished we could have went back and redid the album with an acoustic upright.
Yeah.
But we're looking forward to the next one. We're always looking forward to the next one.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah. I think that's another one of the things that's great about bluegrass too, is that the musicians seem very giving with their knowledge and their time.
Yeah.
You know, they're more than welcome to like talk to somebody else in another band about rigs and setups and things
their
like
gear,
that.
yeah, and sharing and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's
I don't feel like the metal bands do that backstage at the shows. It's
right.
It's not quite the same.
Yeah. At Gettysburg, that was one of the most elite bluegrass festivals we've ever been to, and backstage was just magical watching what you were just saying. We kind of stood back and listened and watched, learning.
What were you watching exactly?
We were just watching all the guys trade licks, talking about their instruments, the builders who built the instrument, how long they were playing with this band, who's playing with this band now, and one of my highlights of that was sitting down with Peter Rowan at the same picnic table having dinner.
Oh my gosh.
And just having conversations, and I couldn't really chime in, but I mean, I was just I was in awe, just sitting at the same picnic table with Peter and hearing him just mention Jerry, talk about bluegrass, just I'm just losing it. It was so cool.
Yeah, I don't think he gets enough credit for his involvement with the Old and in the Way.
Oh no, he's
singing lead on most of those songs, and those are some classic versions.
All those G runs on the guitar.
Oh, absolutely.
They're all him.
Yeah. Speaking of guitars, what kind of guitar are you playing nowadays?
I have a Martin D28. I bought it in 2009.
What year is it?
2009.
It's brand new. Oh,
I bought it brand new.
Original owner. That's
one
how you
owner.
word that.
I started off with some lower end models, but I had a D16 before this one, and then so I've had my eyes on some other ones, but this is always
be a guitar player,
right. Exactly. It'll be ongoing, and I have a supportive wife who also plays, with Mountain Ride, plays the bass. She's constantly like, get it. Like if I see one that I like, she's like,
hey, it's for your job, man.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
important.
it's part of my life, and
Not just a hobbyist here.
Yeah.
Mountain Ride had a big year in 2017.
Yes,
what was your favorite thing you did in the year?
Our favorite thing was definitely Gray Fox this year. That was a bucket list festival for us to attend, let alone play. And we played 2 sets there, one plugged in and one acoustic at the Sierra Nevada beer tent. And we were just received so well, and got to see all of our heroes, there and mingle, with the Dusters. Yeah, but we attended the whole 4-day festival.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we kind of slated that whole weekend for just Gray Fox, and met so many great people, and it was incredible.
Yeah, I've never been to Gray Fox myself, but I've heard like the layout is like no other, with the roads with the artist names after them and everything.
It's a bluegrass heaven. It really is. Gettysburg was a huge highlight for us. It was the most traditional bluegrass festival we've ever played, and they were so welcoming to our newer sound.
Yeah.
In fact, when we were hired, I said, can we bring our pedal boards? Can we bring our pedals? And he was like, I wouldn't have hired you, if I didn't want you to do what you guys do.
That's amazing.
It was such a relief, because I was kind of worried that we might have to scale down things, or although we'd love to do traditional bluegrass, and we're not opposed to that, but the true Mountain Ride sound is just plugging in and doing what we've done so far. The other highlight always is our annual Bluegrass Festival that we hold, Camp Bluegrass.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Which is our festival.
And what city's that in?
That's in Greencastle, and that happens the second weekend in June every year. And there's always a link on our website, and we'll be releasing the announcement for the lineup for that beginning of the year.
And this is going to be what, the 4th year?
4th year, yeah. 4th year for Camp Bluegrass.
Excited. Any idea when we can see the lineup? Of
the beginning of the year.
Beginning of the year?
Yeah, probably January 1st or 2nd. We'll make that announcement. Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah, we're about 75% through with our lineup. So.
Well, I know. I've been to the first couple. It's been a great time every time. It's such a nice location there along the creek. I like that you can wade in the creek and listen if the weather's nice. And it's been pretty hot there a couple times.
It's been really hot, but we've had no rain. We've had no rain.
It's a big knock on wood.
Yes.
All right. So speaking of festivals, speaking of wrapping up the year, let's talk about 2018. What are you looking forward to most come 2018?
Well, any bluegrass fan is always looking forward to festival season. So we're excited to see what kind of festivals we're going to be announcing. Some pretty big ones that we're excited to be announcing. Many to come that we don't know of yet. The highlight for us at the beginning of the year, we're actually flying to the Florida Keys January 12th to play the Bluegrass Festival.
Oh, that's awesome.
We're also playing Wilmington, Delaware Bluegrass Festival in March with the Gibson Brothers, Country Current, the
That's
Navy
good.
Band. Yeah, but the Florida Keys, that's with Billy Strings, Jacob's Ferry Stragglers, which are friends of all of ours. And that's kind of how we ended up at that festival, was Jacob's Ferry.
Yeah,
So,
I know they've had some good trips going down to Florida and getting away from the Pennsylvania winters. And experience in Florida.
So this will be our first show that we're actually flying to. So that's a step.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a real
Good
big
for
deal.
you. So Eric, who right now, besides Mountain Ride, out in the bluegrass world, do you think represents the future of bluegrass?
The future of bluegrass, I would have to say the infamous String Dusters. Not only am I just a big fan of that band and who they are and what they represent, but what they put in the music and where they've taken it since their inception of the Dusters, kind of from that seldom seen, being named, after the great, Ben Eldridge, and kind of giving them that name and how they've just evolved. I remember seeing the Dusters play around a couple microphones to the point now where they've added the big show of it, and that's what's hooked a lot of people, including me, and they're taking it to new levels. I mean, they were just nominated for a Grammy, and just goes to show. I mean, they're hard at work at what they do, and they really stay true to what they do. And they also incorporate traditional bluegrass in there all the time. I mean, all the time. But they also give so much more, and they've taken it to new levels. And there's so many bands out there that's still, that's doing that. But that's probably, that's my future of bluegrass. That's where I look to whenever I'm trying to evolve in my own songwriting and music and stuff like that. So,
You have a favorite live Dusters experience by any chance? Off the top of your head.
The first time I seen him was at Delfest on a Thursday night, late night. I think that was 2009. My first Delfest was my first band that I ever seen at Delfest. As I walked in, we got there kind of late on a Thursday night, and walked into the barn. And at that year, we were actually competing in the band competition. So we just walked right on through, and next thing you know, we're watching the infamous String Dusters just bring the house down. It was incredible. That was the year Jesse Cobb was still in the band.
Sure, yeah.
So,
yeah. That's amazing. That's a legendary event right there.
Yes. That's one of my fond moments of that band.
And also, I have to ask, do you have a favorite infamous String Duster song?
Oh my!
You had to pick
I had
one
to pick one
infamous String Duster song to say to Bill's Bluegrass Breakdown. Here's Eric Avey's Dusters Pick of the Week.
Oh.
Is there one off the top of your head?
I would have to say Fork in the Road, maybe. Fork in the Road, Black Rock. I even like Starry Night. I like all the different levels and styles of, but I would have to say Fork in the Road is probably I think it was probably the one that hooked me from the get-go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for joining us. I've been Bill Rudd. This has been
Eric Avey,
from the band,
Mountain Ride,
and you can check them out
at mountainridebluegrass.com.
and on Facebook and Instagram and all those places, just like you can find me on Facebook and Instagram and my Bill Rudd's Bluegrass Breakdown YouTube channel. So thank you all for joining us, and hope to see you at a show soon. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And
Hell yeah.